This is from last night's game. Angel Reese was back to doing Angel Reese things, blowing layups, getting her own rebounds. They've turned her into a point forward. She had 9 turnovers last night. I think her plus minus was minus 19. But all we keep hearing about, she now has 2 double-double streaks of more than 10 games or 10 games plus. She had one last year. Now she has one this year. She's the first WNBA player to ever do this. She got the brakes beaten off of her. She had 9 turnovers and was just an awful. If you watch the game, she was awful.
As the WNBA turns, starring Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Asia Wilson, and other angry feminists. Brought to you by George Soros, Adam Silver, Kathy Engelbert, and the Global Elite.
All right, back for my thoughts on the WNBA. 2 things. I have 2 separate thoughts. One, ESPN PR came out with their press release about the amazing ratings they had for the WNBA All-Star Game. It was up 36. It was up, what did they say? 89%, I think, from 2023. 2 million people, about 2.1 million, maybe close to 2.2 million, watched that travesty of an All-Star game on Saturday. And so ESPN compares it to 2023 and puts out a press release about how great things were. But if you compare it to 2024, when Caitlin Clark actually played, it was down 36%. 3.5 million, 3.4 million people watched last year's WNBA All-Star game. This year, a bunch of people did not watch, and they were smart because that game was a travesty. It was an embarrassment. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in professional sports. However, I do want to argue whether this is a good look for Caitlin Clark, either way you slice it. There's 1.2 million people did not watch as opposed to last year. But 2 million people did watch this year, and that's a dramatic improvement for anything they've seen before Caitlin Clark. Why did 2 million people watch? Even though the game was embarrassing, even though Caitlin Clark wasn't playing, they watched because one of the teams was named Team Clark. Caitlin Clark was the captain of the team. So just her being a captain of the team, just her getting introduced before the game, just her sitting on the sidelines is the reason why 2 million people watched that game. Had she been out there playing, it probably would have drawn 3.5, 4 million people, the same as last year. This is an awesome look for Caitlin Clark. And all of it can be spun. All of this is about Caitlin Clark. The 2 million viewers that did show up, the fact that that's more than twice as many people that watched pre-Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, and the fact that there was a diminished crowd because Caitlin Clark did not play. Everything about this WNBA All-Star Weekend, the fact that everybody called it a huge success and how Indianapolis rolled out the red carpet, all of it is a credit to Caitlin Clark. She did that. She made that happen. She made a city bend over backwards and treat WNBA stars like they're legitimate stars. They got treated like celebrities in Indianapolis. It's pretty ironic that in the city where many of these NBA players have tried to smear Indiana Fever fans, that's where they get treated the best. That's where they have the best WNBA weekend. Anyway, so put a pin in that. That's my thoughts on the ratings from the WNBA All-Star Game. Now I want to fast forward to last night, and just probably a bit more of a negative take, but I just got to keep it real. I am so tired of hearing about Angel Reese and her double-doubles. And many of you, as we just talked with Ryan and Jason Barrett and Steve Kim about, many of you are stat watchers. You're not game watchers. That we've reduced sports to just watching box scores and tweeting out our thoughts about box scores. And so Angel Reese is the double-double queen. They got the brakes beat off of them last night by the Minnesota Lynx. Angel Reese's double-double, I think 11 points, 11 rebounds, was meaningless and insignificant. I think we got some highlights of Angel Reese from the WNBA All-Star game. If we could play those while I finish my thoughts out here. I mean, from last night's game. This isn't from the All-Star game. This is from last night's game. Angel Reese was back to doing Angel Reese things. Blowing layups, getting her own rebounds. They've turned her into a point forward. She had 9 turnovers last night. I think her plus minus was minus 19. But all we keep hearing about, she now has 2 double-double streaks of more than 10 games or 10 games plus. She had one last year. Now she has one this year. She's the first WNBA player to ever do this. She got the brakes beaten off of her. She had 9 turnovers and was just an awful. If you watch the game, she was awful. We need to quit celebrating these little distinctions. And look, as a rebounder, I get it. She's a great rebounder. As she has improved, she shot 4 of 8 from the field last night. And look, we focus in on Angel Reese's missed layups, but if you watch the WNBA, everybody misses layups. Everybody misses layups. We're being a bit unfair to Angel Reese and pointing out her missed layups. But, other than Nafisa Collier and maybe Asia Wilson, all these girls are capable of blowing wide open layups. It just happens. If you watch the league, you can see it. But let's quit pretending like this is some sort of history we're seeing from Angel Reese with these double-doubles. It's not. It's a nice little stat that's pretty irrelevant, doesn't lead to victories, they lost by 20-some-odd points last night to the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx pretty much controlled that entire game. Angel Reese was no factor. We need to quit celebrating. Oh, she got a double-double. Well, yeah, they kept her in the fourth quarter when they were down by 20, and she, got a bucket or two and got to double-digit points. Anyway.
Don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest content.